Boom has struck 3 YouTube channels with copyright takedowns. These channels are Elite Cameraman, Talanthric, and of course, Game Tunes. Since this video is dealing with copyright strikes already, I will not be using any footage or any kind of imagery of any of these channels, as the exploitation of copyright strikes is growing, and just in case the possibility that one of these scumbags attempts to copyright strike me for this. Boom, the creator of Skibidi Toilet, has recently filed copyright takedowns against multiple YouTube Kids content farms. Mr. Boom has been completely silent about this, so the only knowledge we have about this is coming from those content farms. So naturally, like all juggernauts of media, they're super victimizing of themselves with their overly professional but still childish responses. And since the first wave of people to hear about this are going to be the stupid kids that watch their videos, the general public opinion of this debacle is already extremely negative towards Boom. And then the second wave are those annoying commentary channels, who, after a wave of edgy and overcritically commentary channels, especially after the Jelly Bean incident, are going to immediately side with whoever puts on the fake positivity mask, who is of course going to be the only person that actually acknowledged it happened. Skibidi fans have already been coping, saying it's an impersonator doing the strikes, even though the people getting struck have been loud and clear that it was the real one, saying that because his name was missing a single question mark or something, that it was fake. What these kids don't understand is copyright handles are often different from their YouTube usernames. If you get copyright claimed by Nintendo, it will specifically say Nintendo of America or whatever your location is, not just Nintendo. Using this, we've actually been able to expose some fake Nintendo copyright strikers against Kirby right back at ya. So, we don't know, we have to assume that this is the real one, and that's just his copyright holder name. And the only reason these kids think this is because the Princess Skibidi Toilet creator would never do anything bad, which is stupid because if you really think about it, Boom has done a very good thing for the world. The amount of channels that have been absolutely exploiting the fame of Skibidi Toilet is absurd. Skibidi Toilet is not a trend like YouTube calls it. It's a series, an original series that belongs to one guy. What kind of series? It's not a fanfiction or an AU of Half-Life. It uses its characters, yes, but they have almost no relation to the original story and characters, not even their names. And only a couple of the toilets are actually unoriginal characters. 90% of the characters are completely original machine-headed humanoids, not the models, just the characters themselves. But it's not its own IP either. On top of the Half-Life models, the main draw to the series is a remix of 2 copyrighted songs, and while Boom was able to replace some of the models to release some mobile games, that song is its entire identity, all the way up to the name. So Skibidi Toilet is in this really weird position where it's kinda hard to tell if it's valid to copyright it, but put yourself in Boom's shoes for a moment. Imagine making some silly little story series for fun, and it's suddenly becoming the biggest phenomenon on the entire internet. Yes, he used a viral trendy song for the series, so you could assume it blowing up was planned, but it has spun way too out of control. Even if he terminates all 3 channels right now, it will barely make a scratch on how much misused fan content has been created, all for money. He's trying to take back control over the thing that should be his, which had unfairly been deemed as a trend everyone should be making by YouTube themselves. Now, legality and fairness aside, is what he's doing really a bad thing? Let's closely examine all the channels he's taking action against. First we have Elite Cameraman, the simplest of the bunch. This is a channel based entirely on Skibidi Toilet, so Boom has every right to take this one down. Elite makes analysis videos of every episode of Skibidi Toilet. I watched one of his biggest ones, and maybe English isn't his first language, but the dude speaks like an AI. But worse than that, he often says stuff like, "This is the first appearance of thing," to something that literally never comes back again. And 80% of the analysis is just recapping the video. Definitely not something worthy of being preserved. Although, from what I know, Elite had already had its copyright strikes dropped. Talanthric is our next guy on the list. He's the most generic Roblox YouTuber imaginable. I sorted by oldest, and it seems he's been making probably fake Roblox exploit videos since day one. It isn't just his channel getting struck though. He is the dev of a Roblox Skibidi Toilet game, which has also been struck. For some reason, there's even more people claiming a fake Boom struck the Roblox games, but the evidence used is the most untrustworthy thing ever, so I still think it's a little kid seething. Update, there actually is some decent evidence that some of them are fake, because in Talanthric's really cringe-worthy response video, he makes this absolutely absurd claim that Boom has been faking where he lives because his copyright, the copyright claims are coming from are like 3 different locations. Because yes, a man made a video ages ago about living in Russia, deleted that video all just to set up the idea that all just to set up a hoax that he lives in Russia just so he can copyright strike some Roblox games. Yes, Talanthric, you make perfect sense. Imagine, like most Roblox games, it is filled with microtransactions, which makes them even more worthy of being struck. And overall, Roblox is extremely predatory towards children, and anything to deter kids from playing it is a good thing. And based on something we'll talk about later, well, that I kind of already hinted at a minute ago, Boom is probably well aware of this trend and doesn't want his hard work to be used for such a corrupt platform. Next we have GameTunes, but unfortunately, while making this video, the GameTunes strikes have supposedly been revoked. I say supposedly because in a previous post they also said Boom and them came to an agreement and revoked the strikes, but then according to them, Boom lied and did not revoke the strikes. But also supposedly these strikes have been removed for real this time. This is a real shame because GameTunes is a plague of the internet. There's a lot of questionable content on GameTunes channels. Farting videos, over-the-top drawings of women, and there's this specific Sonic EXE video with a topic I'm not going to directly mention. It's not an inherently bad thing and can be used as a form of horror and seems that way at first, but as the video continues it just feels more weird, gross, and awkward. If you know, you know. Then of course you have this sad origin of Skibidi Toilet, which, like everything they make, has zero connection to the source material and is just a glorified fanfiction. This is another reason why it's understandable that Boom would want these videos down. The misunderstanding of Skibidi Toilet. It's easy to brush off as another mindless kids content farm, but revealed through a deleted music video called Demand, exposes what Skibidi Toilet really means. In this video, Boom expresses his mental state and his feelings towards the oppressive Russian society. In it, we see the emotionless Russian society being represented by camera and TV men. While it's true, this video was not created for Skibidi Toilet is an expansion of the idea in this video. So you might be wondering what the toilets represent. Examining other videos on this channel featuring heads in toilets, the meaning is quite simple. It's crap. Just crappy things that suck. So you might be wondering, if the toilets represent things that suck, why are the camera and TV men not in toilets? In a video called Russia, Putin is also in a toilet, but Putin was previously represented by the TV man. This shows that they don't have to be exclusive, they're two sides of the same coin. Skibidis and the cameramen both have the need to assert their authority over each other. The Skibidi toilets in particular represent trends and how they've spread and become brainless. Russia has restrictions on internet freedom, so they may be against Skibidis because they've become too powerful. This might be surprising to some as the cameramen are portrayed as the heroes, but really, that's only because we're in their POV. The only characters that actually have any heroic aura are the speaker people, who have their own triumphant themes. The theme used for speaker men directly acknowledges the conflict. Everyone wants to rule the world. In war, there are no heroes, only people who want authority over each other. The speaker woman also has its own theme that may have significance. It uses Running Up That Hill, which has the lyric, "If only I could make a deal with God, I could get him to swap our places." Remember I said, we only see the cameramen as heroes because we're in the POV? Well, how would we feel if we were in the POV of the toilets? We could get him to swap our places, then maybe we'd see things clearer. So, the speaker people seem to be aware that both sides are equally as corrupt. But the real kicker here is the speakermen were not present in the Demand video and did not represent anything evil. So why do I tell you all this? Well, partially just because it's really cool. But more importantly, it shows that all these kids' channels have misunderstood the creative vision of Skibidi Toilet. Skibidi Toilet even criticizes this kind of mindless short-form content farms. The fans see it as nothing more than a fictional world of parasites and cyborgs, when it's really a deep metaphor for the Russian society, and just bad governments and systems in general. So if you think about it, all these videos are spreading misinformation and go against Boom's dream for content. If these videos understood the meaning, I don't think I'd have as much of a problem with the amount of Skibidi fan content, and I don't think Boom would either. On top of all this, there's these annoying Karens campaigning against Skibidi Toilet just because their kids are being annoying. And I can understand the concern. It probably looks like they're being possessed when they just start singing and doing weird movements. But kids do this when they see literally anything on the internet. Monkey see, monkey do. But because now there is a lot of hate towards Boom, these annoying Karens are probably going to feel even more like they're in the right. Oh yeah, also there was this stupid Twitter post about Boom supposedly being racist. But 1, he doesn't even use a correct spelling of the N-word. 2, it's not used in a negative context. 3, supposedly his black friend gave him an N-word pass, which is, yes, it's a social construct, but if you're going to use that logic, the idea of being offended by a word is also a social construct, so you'll be arguing that to the end of time. 4, I don't know what number I'm on. He lives in Russia, culture is different. 5, we've already established that he had experienced a lot of mental issues back in the day, so he's probably fixed by now. So this is honestly just the most pathetic attempt to use someone saying the N-word to cancel them I think I've ever seen. Yeah. Overall, people are accusing Boom of only doing these copyright strikes for the money, when in reality, it's the complete opposite. He's doing this because he's passionate about his craft, and people are destroying that passion for profit. Skibidi Toilet actually breaks the mold of the usual YouTube Kids content, and for that, he deserves our respect. So in the end, I guess we can just hope Telanthric gets terminated or something. Now I gotta end this video already because I've said the words Skibidi Toilet far too many times for a guy over the age of 12.